On today's episode, we are talking about a business concept that I really haven't heard much out there, but it is absolutely imperative that you adapt this mindset if you're going to keep confident in your business moving forward. So today I'd like to talk about a mindset that I like to call embracing inconsistency. And what this means is that not only are you prepared to embrace the inconsistencies of running a business with all the different problems that come up, but it also means you're willing to embrace the inconsistency of money that you have incoming into your business. And this is the biggest thing that a lot of new business owners are really not prepared for. Because if you've been working an hourly or a salary job, you already know exactly how much you're going to make every month. And this makes your budgeting a lot easier to do. And it also makes your mindset a lot easier to keep of you knowing a paycheck is coming and exactly when and exactly what amount. There is a certain mentality that needs to be gained when you go into getting big paychecks and small paychecks and a lot of middle-sized ones and really every size all over the place. So the simple way to explain what I'm talking about today is if your business has a $30,000 sales month and then the next month has a $12,000 and then the next month has a $7,000 and the next month has a $46,000, that's pretty normal. And if you're doing those kind of numbers, you probably already get it by then. But I also mean for those of you doing smaller numbers, if you have a $1,500 month at $500, a $3,000 month at $5,000, that is also normal. And what we really need to do here is kind of look at your business from a point of what's like the biggest sales month that I've ever had, or is a common, bigger sales month for me to have. And then you can think about ways to get your bigger sales months bigger. And then you can also figure out how to get your smaller sales months bigger. And a lot of times as humans, we are more likely to fall to our standards than we are to always try to rise to our potential. It is motivating to do so, but just to give you an example, if you had a goal of like hitting $100,000 in sales for the month and you're at like 87,000 and you're in the last couple days, that person might be more like, okay, like 87,000 is freaking awesome, right? Like they're like, we got close enough. And they're more likely to be complacent because humans get complacent when they're chasing these really big goals on the way to those big goals. But the thing that we can't get complacent about is letting our standards fall below a certain amount. So let's say, just to make the example easy, the smallest sales month you ever want to have is $5,000. Then what that means is when you're coming down into that last week, then hey, it's time to start sacrificing maybe some social plans or some other things that you're looking to do for your business because you have a certain standard that you won't let yourself fall below. And when you own your own business, it's easy to still be like, well, yeah, I have control of my schedule. I can do what I want. I get free time. But that's one of the major downfalls really to when people open a business versus when they're used to being an employee is businesses that you work for will have a certain standard that you have to hit each month or you'll get fired. Or in my last sales job, we had a certain quota that we had to sell in order to get paid a higher commission percentage. And pretty much everyone hit it every time. And that's because our standard was set to a minimum of that. The company sets a standard minimum for you. But as entrepreneurs, we always are just striving for these big goals, but we're never setting a bottom standard minimum that we're not willing to fall below. And that's what I would encourage you guys to really set today. And if you can think about it in a way of like, this is the sales number that I never want to dip below, you can do that. But as a new business, it's also very hard to predict your income with numbers, right? Like, oh, if I do this many Instagram posts and, this many sales promos, I'll get this many sales. Like you might not even know if your offer works yet. So if you can't consistently plan around a number for sales metrics yet, then focus it on a different number. And that would be some kind of number related to an income-based activity. All right, so if that's making phone calls, if that's sending DMs, it could be posting, but organic posting is such an indirect way of selling something because you're accumulating an audience and then selling them later that I wouldn't really count it as one of your metrics. But if your main goal is just to grow by a certain amount, then yeah, you could have like, yeah, I don't fall below 10 posts a month. You can have standards for literally all of these things. But if you guys just took this from this episode, all of your businesses would be doing so much better right away just from fixing your bad months. Okay, let's get our bad months better. And the other months will play out very well, but we also have to fix these major leaks in your businesses first. And it's really just a mentality of, I'm not okay falling below this amount, because that is more where humans can more consistently draw a line. Like, I don't fall below this standard. So raise your standards. Of course, dream big and dream bigger and dream bigger. But you kind of already know that that only goes so far when we're just thinking about big, big, big numbers all the time. Then literally we're just like, oh yeah, either I sold 1 million that month or every other number is the same kind of failure. But really, we should have it where, and then if I dip below this month, this amount, then I really got a problem, because that's where I'm falling below my own standards. So set standards for posting, set standards for sales numbers, or really, honestly, I'll say that I usually just like to pick one number to focus on, because if you can base it around sales, then that will ultimately be, that will trickle down to other actions, right? This many posts per month, this much on ad spend, all these other things, but it will all accumulate into one big number. So what is the one big number that you can track? And then what kind of standard can you set there? And then on top of that, when you are hitting these low months, it shouldn't affect your confidence, because you are embracing inconsistency. And if you are truly embracing it, then the big months, awesome, it boosts your confidence. The small months, you're ready for it. You know, it's a natural part of business to have months that are significantly less sometimes, to have to massively pivot your entire marketing plan, your sales process, the price of your offer and what you're selling. There's a lot of inconsistency that will naturally happen in business if you're doing it right. So don't let the inconsistency affect your confidence. You are right where you need to be. Keep striving for more. And remember, you're only in a race with yourself. So up your standards, and of course, up your ambitions as well. But you're going to get a lot more consistent results if you set that standard that you're not willing to fall below first. My name is Derek Videll. Thank you so much for watching today. Subscribe if you got some value. And if you're watching on YouTube, hitting the like button or commenting is much appreciated. Just ask me any questions you have, and I will be sure to get back to you. I'll catch you next time.